what's up? What's up, everyone? Welcome to this live. Welcome to you if you're watching the replay. I wanted to talk to you about self-talk mistakes to mind, avoid, change at all costs if you have them. And also I need to get ready. My baby girl is sleeping. I am praying she sleeps throughout the duration of this live. Yeah, if you're a mom, you know. Also, happy Valentine's Day. I love this mug. It says made in China, but I bought it in Iran. But anyways, I'm sure you really care where I bought my mug. But anyways, self-talk habits that we must all have. First clue is the word must. So a few years ago, when my whole life was upside down, I didn't even know that I was talking to myself in an extremely negative way. I was constantly shooting on myself, saying, oh, I should do this, I should do that, I must do this, I must do that, I ought to be better at this. So should, ought, must. We have to manage those when we start speaking them onto ourselves. And the reason I say this is because if you say something like, oh, I should have done this before, your brain literally goes, excuse me, your brain literally goes, oh, I should have done something in the past. And then it's like, well, we didn't do it, we can't do it. And you're giving yourself an impossible option. And sometimes it's for little things, but imagine you do it for a big thing. Like, oh, I should have not gone to this university. And I know I say that because I did that for a while. And it's kind of like, okay, well, where do I want to go with this narrative? Like, I can't go in the past, change the direction of my studies, of where I went, the money I spent, etc. What if instead I say I could have perhaps given myself the opportunity to evaluate different options, been more open with myself, etc. Like, just, I could have, using the word could have, right? So for big things, little things, like I could have worked out, or I could have looked at different options. Then your brain goes, okay, well, if we could have, let's evaluate what in our life we could be potentially doing differently to make our life better. Just in that tiny fragment of changing from I should have, I must have, I ought to have, to I could have, you open up your mind and you give yourself this opportunity. Hi, happy Valentine's Day. What's she yapping? I'm yapping about our self-talk mistakes that we have, that we could do better, because you are with your brain the entire time. If there's one voice that never shuts up, it's the one in your head. And if we don't learn how to manage it or how to lead it, leadership is more important. We're always going to be in rambles. In fact, there's this book I read, like everyone's heard of this one, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And one of the things that he said is one of the biggest mistakes people make is that they spend they overexert themselves to manage their thoughts versus lead their thoughts. But like, think of it this way. Think of it, you're working in a department store and you're managing like a shit show. And there's never someone who's coming to take the leadership and say, okay, well, we're going to have sales this day, or we're going to put the inventory here. You're always managing things in a rumble. And the thing is, if you speak super, super negative to yourself, you're always just managing those thoughts without even thinking about it. And you're never effectively leading yourself to thinking better, thinking more harmoniously. One of the reasons why everyone that's in the self-help world, everyone and their mother will talk to you about meditation, is because meditation is really a genuine time to release, let go, and have a distance from those thoughts. Because if you're constantly yapping to yourself and you're constantly engaging with your thoughts, you're never taking the distance that you need to take to be able to reevaluate some of these thoughts, to be able to shift them. So the reason why I started with that basic example of, instead of saying I must, I ought to, I should have, change it to I could. Give your brain an option. Once you give your brain an option, in the sense of, okay, well, it's not about going in the past and thinking like, what can I shift? What could I shift? You put yourself back in the driver's seat. You give yourself power. If there's one voice that never shuts up, it's yours, 100%. You're so funny. Gotta love people giving you YouTube advice all the time. So that's one of the things. And I know, I hope you've heard this before, to talk to yourself like you are your own best friend. You know, there's, oh shit, where's my towel? There's so many times that we are dissatisfied with ourselves, and instead of speaking kindly to ourselves, we shut ourselves down, we say negative things, and we think it's going to be good, like we're trying to slap ourselves into compliance. But what if you encourage yourself like all the time? And the reason why we have a hard time doing this is, I feel anyways, is that when things are going bad, our brain already has a natural negativity bias. So it's like, oh, you're doing something bad, you're doing something wrong. Let me pick at it, let me poke at it, let me repeat it over and over, so we make sure that we never forget it. But if you were to let yourself do that, you're gonna continue to do that. But if you interrupt it just long enough and say, okay, well, what could I be proud of today? What could I choose to be grateful for today? Like doing gratitude journaling is super imperative for the mind, super imperative, because you're effectively training your brain to see what's positive in life. And if you never train your brain, because there's that natural negativity bias, you're always going to see the negative first. You're always going to focus on what is wrong first. But if you're always focusing on what's wrong, you're always going to focus on what's wrong. It's like this example once that Tony Robbins gave. I really love. Hang on, I'm just trying to find something here. Where did it go? Our contour stick. Oh, here it is. Okay. So he says, imagine you're driving a race car and you're driving and you're going fast, okay? You're in the fast lane. Now, if you keep thinking, I don't want to hit that wall, your eye's going to constantly, like, you acknowledge you don't want to hit the wall, because who would want to hit the wall? You would like effectively, potentially no longer live, right? Because you're going fast in a race car. But if you keep saying, I don't want to hit the wall, I don't want to hit the wall, your eye's going to continuously look at hitting the wall. It's like, I want to enjoy this ride and get across a finish line. It's like when you focus on what you don't have, what you don't have, you're missing out on. Yes, 100%. You're so funny. Get off YouTube and go to sleep. People are hilarious. Or go watch a, I don't know, like ASMR, something like ASMR. Yeah, like that's the thing. Like the more you focus on what you don't have, the more you focus on what you don't have. And I think sometimes people think that life is you're waiting for like some grand changes in your life. And life is a series of every single day choices. Every single day choices. That is how your life is actually going to change effectively. And one lesson I learned personally, in the weirdest way, like I decided I'm going to step into gratitude. So I did gratitude journaling every single day for 6 months. I also wrote one happy memory. Didn't matter how awful the day was. Didn't matter. I wrote one happy memory. After 6 months, I began to genuinely see how like how much endorphins my brain was feeling just from scanning that notebook where I wrote 3 things I'm grateful for, 3 specific things, 1 happy memory. It's almost like I remembered my own past in a more empowering way. My life began to change. It began to change, it began to change. And then at some point, some of the things that I wanted really manifested, like beyond my wildest dream. And then I